Welcome back to your latest industry news recap. Today, there's focus on the 737 MAX, which looks to have another potential niggle that is impacting it. Onto SAS as they expand their route network, and there's updates involving Etihad Airways. Let me begin with no doubt what is set to be the feature story of this video and likely to be the topic that will receive the most attention in the comments. That is, Boeing is reporting that it is facing another problem with its 737 MAX, as inspections are urged following the finding of a loose bolt. Airlines worldwide are being urged to inspect their 737 MAX jets for what Boeing has described as a loose bolt in the rudder control system. The Federal Aviation Administration, or more commonly referred to as just simply the FAA, confirmed this finding and the inspection requirements. Additionally, the FAA said that they are closely monitoring the series at the moment. If further loose bolts are discovered or other potential internal issues with the aircraft are found, the FAA says that they will take the required action. As such, the governing body really won't hesitate, but at the moment it is keeping more of a watchful eye on the situation that is unfolding. The FAA has said that per word from Boeing, it identified a specific aircraft with an international customer that saw a missing nut during key maintenance. This before the turn of the new year. However, this issue was further really highlighted when an undelivered plane was found to have a nut that was not adequately tightened. While this may not seem like the biggest of deals, when it comes to building aircraft, it's very important that everything is cross-checked and tightened to the extreme. We are talking about the safety of all those on board an aircraft. Boeing has been battling with quality assurance difficulties across recent history. The 737 MAX and the 787 have been the two aircraft types the most impacted by this. In the past, it even got so bad that we saw delivery suspended on the 787 alongside a brief grounding period that has inevitably hurt customers. Quality assurance problems are what analysts have highlighted as something that needs to be significantly focused on at the American plane maker. It can be especially noted if Boeing wants to advance with their ambitious delivery and production targets. To achieve these matters, the American plane maker needs to crack down on any loose bolts or quality assurance matters that may be slipping through. The FAA and Boeing say, though, the issue is isolated to the 737 MAX series, so as a result, the 737 Next Generation, or NGs, are not being impacted at this time. We will find out in due course if the issue is widespread or very much isolated, but for now, inspections will be taking place. Over to SAS now, who have announced a pretty big expansion of their service for the summer 2024 schedule, with a mission of flying to over 130 destinations across more than 40 countries. Customer favorite destinations, such as those warm weather locations in Spain and also broader Europe, will continue to feature. However, new flights will be launched to several more locations too. This massive focused shift to expansion comes as demand continues for them to rise, and SAS forecasts a summer season that will come with solid levels of demand. Therefore, they see the potential to meet this and the positive repercussions that will follow. What I'll do now is break up each area of the expansion, beginning with South European flights. SAS says that destinations there will be getting some love, with plans to add flights from Stockholm to Copenhagen towards Malaga, which will result in 20 weekly services. Meanwhile, Oslo will see up to 17 weekly flights to Alicante. Again, this is all part of that focus I mentioned at the beginning of this segment of flying towards more of your summer favorite locations. Italy will see a boost in flying, with Milan now having 4 flights per day from Copenhagen and daily flights to Florence. Nice will lastly see 25 flights. A commitment to Paris will continue, with a twice daily service to the French capital during the peak summer period. Focus on Northern European destinations is more than present, with the likes of Dusseldorf now seeing up to 5 daily flights from Copenhagen. Brussels and Warsaw are all included, with 4 and 3 daily flights respectively. Again, this is from Copenhagen, which is certainly bringing in the bulk of the new flights. Stockholm, though, will also see flying expansion to the likes of Helsinki and Berlin. SAS will operate significantly more domestic services as well as important locations in the Nordic. This is all again part of its reaction to the increase in flying that it has witnessed across recent years. SAS has been in a bit of a turbulent period in recent history, but the recent incomings of the Air France-KLM group, which should definitely shake up how SAS operates, has given them a bit of a new lease on life, as well as a changing of alliance. Once all that is approved, it'll be utterly fascinating to see just how SAS adapts to the market. With a lot of restructuring and aircraft being removed, the expansion plans for the summer 2024 season certainly represent a new era for the company that it is attempting its very best to enter into. On your screen now are just some of the many new routes that are being announced to enhance connectivity, as well as their respective frequency. On to the final story of today, and that sits with some more network growth, but this time at Etihad Airways. They're growing their presence in India by welcoming more destinations from Abu Dhabi. Etihad Airways says actually at the turn of the new year, it launched services to Tiruvananthapuram and Kozhikode. Now, I've probably mispronounced that, so I do honestly apologize. That's probably the one difficult thing about this gig that I do, is sometimes pronouncing cities or locations in different countries that just seem so foreign to what I am used to saying. I do my very best, but again, I can only apologize. And yes, you're more than welcome to make fun of me for it down below in the comments. But I tried my best. Anyway, these two locations are now joining the Etihad Airways network, with the flights actually commencing on New Year's Day, as the belief is this will really enhance the airline's capacity to India. These new destinations actually increase the total number of gateways served to the country, now sitting at 10. The subcontinent is hugely important as part of their Journey 2030 plan, which I will get into in the latter stages of this segment. Both flights are operating daily, which is fantastic to see. While a focus has been placed again on the early 2024 expansion into India to grow their presence, Etihad will also grow to other markets this year too. As part of the routes already announced, from the 31st of March, the airline will begin new flights to Boston in the United States. Meanwhile, from the 1st of May 2024, Nairobi in Kenya will also feature as part of a robust schedule offering. May represents another important month if we're focusing on services to Europe, as it inaugurates non-stop service to Nice in France. Meanwhile, the airline will offer direct flights to Santorini and Mykonos. The airline is plotting growth across the next 7 years in what I touched on as Journey 2030. If you haven't heard too much about this, it's basically a new strategy that has been revealed that marks a pivotal point in not just the airline's short, but also its long-term future. As part of this plan, there'll be a strong focus on growth, and doing so sustainably. Etihad wants to increase its customer satisfaction levels to further make it an industry leader for cabin products and your overall flying experience. The company hopes to fly towards over 125 destinations and leverage its geographical positioning of Abu Dhabi and the Middle East to its advantage in connecting markets east and west of this. Additionally, Journey 2030 should see Etihad double its fleet to over 160 aircraft. Thanks to the doubling of fleet, a focus will be placed on short and medium-haul locations, alongside new long-haul services as far as Europe and North America, as well as the Oceania region. Etihad Airways plans to attract 10 million point-to-point travelers to the UAE capital by 2030, and this will align with its view of offering economic benefits to Abu Dhabi as well. That's going to conclude today's aviation news recap. If you have any thoughts, you're more than welcome to drop them down below in the comments. Thanks for tuning in. Please do take care and also be safe. I will see you next time.
And we'll fly.